Hey everyone, it's Patty. Welcome to Relatively Refined. In today's video, we are heading down east to do some antiquing and thrifting, eating and drinking along the beautiful southern coast of Maine. So grab your cup of chowder and stay tuned for an action-packed video full of retail therapy, as well as some information about our Poshmark store, and stay to the end for our Relatively Refined segment. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy. Growing up in New England, it just wasn't summer without a trip to the coast of Maine. My husband had a similar tradition in his childhood, and my mother-in-law rented a beach house every summer for the kids and grandkids to spend a couple of weeks enjoying the ocean, having lobster, and just having cousin time. After she passed away, we also rented a beach house, and our kids enjoyed many years of walking to the beach in the morning, riding their bikes to the ice cream shop. So this year was a little bit different because it was just me for the initial part, and I drove up to visit my mom, who had rented a condo in southern Maine. And we spent some time antiquing and thrifting and shopping. It was a wonderful time. Before we get too far into the video, I wanted to make sure to point out that Relatively Refined has a Poshmark closet. And if you watched Paula's last video about Cottage Core, you will see a lot of her items that she picked up are for sale on the Poshmark closet. So if you want to take a look at what is there, all the prices are incredibly reasonable. Really, it's just thinning out inventory to make room for more stuff. So you can see us on Poshmark at Refined2644. So it's at Refined2644. Go ahead and search us, and you will see a lot of the items that Paula has featured in her last video. And there's even a couple of new items that have a distinctly Maine feel to them. So thank you so much. Go ahead over and give us a look. Route 1 along the coast of Maine is famous for its antique shops, and they do not disappoint. In this video, I'm going to share 3 stores that we went to, and I have footage from only 2, but I will include in the show notes all the information about the various shops that we went to. I will also give some restaurant recommendations along this area of York, Wells, Kennebunk, and I will also include a drink recommendation and another retail store that we stopped at in York, Maine. I want to speak to you a little bit about coastal Maine cottage style. And if you think about the elements of coastal Maine style, there are 3 things to keep in mind. First are the colors. And if you think about the colors of the ocean in Maine, it's a very muted blue-gray color, not your turquoise water of, say, the Caribbean. And also creams, kind of the color of rope or sand, and driftwood, sort of that putty color. And also another element of style is texture. And in texture, you're looking at very worn, kind of driftwood type of wood. You're looking at shingles, rope. And the third element of coastal Maine style is nature. So things like shells and sand dollars and hydrangeas and blueberries and things that would occur in Maine in nature, and incorporating those into the style. But this first antique store, or actually it's a thrift store that you are looking at, is called Safe Haven, It is a charity thrift store that benefits the Humane Society. And I think it was my favorite store that we went into. Here's some beautiful examples of those blue colors and creams. Beautiful dish patterns. And they had ginger jars and gorgeous glass baskets. Beautiful carts and artwork. And you're going to catch a glimpse in the corner of a wooden piece. Actually, first, this table right here was a table I desperately wanted. I loved it, but it didn't have a tag on it. And when I inquired about it, the woman told me that it was not for sale. And here's a great example of that wood that I was talking about, that pickled white kind of driftwood wood on that chest of drawers. That is quintessential coastal Maine. And there is a piece, there is an oil painting right there that I did not get and I am still regretting. It's a still life. Here are some more dishes. Everything was just beautiful and pristine. Gorgeous pieces of furniture, lamps and dishes everywhere. It truly looked more like an antique shop than a charity thrift store. Everything was displayed and just beautiful. And there are the blues and golds, the colors of coastal Maine. I loved those dishes that sat on that chair. And every single thing in this room I wanted to take home with me. Absolutely beautiful pieces of furniture. Very classic New England, and while the colors on the furniture are darker, all these beautiful dishes were very, very evocative of coastal Maine style. Light blues and creams and florals, just perfect. And inside of this hutch right here, here we are. Inside of this hutch there were some beautiful pieces of vintage Waterford crystal and some other beautiful glassware, all at very fair prices and for a good cause. And a quick digression from coastal Maine style to show you Beaumar Antiques in Wells, Maine, where there was the largest collection of blow molds I have ever seen. Every season, holiday, anything you could think of, there was probably a blow mold to go with it. It was really fun to see. This antique center is huge and has a large selection of collectibles. I saw some great vintage postcards and some vintage Waterford. And as a delight for your senses, you are definitely going to want to make a stop in York, Maine at the Stonewall Kitchen headquarters and flagship store. This is an absolute must. There is a cafe, there are specialty foods, There are home items, and the grounds alone are worth the visit. Gardens, and just an incredible stop. Let me take you inside. Inside, there are specialty food items as far as the eye can see. Salad dressings, mustards, crackers, aioli, spreads, all kinds of specialty food items for you to enjoy. They have samples so you can try things before you buy them. And I cannot recommend the garlic aioli enough. And if you look behind, you can see the gorgeous cream colored wainscoting, which is very much Maine cottage style. They have kitchen items, barbecue sauces, salad dressings. Just an incredible assortment of specialty food items for you to try, take home, and enjoy. And the displays are just that quintessential coastal Maine style. The beautiful muted colors, just perfect. And I really wanted one of everything, but I had to exercise some restraint. There are herbs and seasonings, as well as grilling items for you to enjoy. Floor to ceiling. Here's a nice display that has a lot of the elements of the Maine coastal style. Notice the blueberry theme, dish towels, the beautiful dishes and syrups. And the display table is that gorgeous pickled light wood. Lots of blue and cream and green, and the cream colored wainscoting behind the light wood shelves. The wild Maine blueberry jam is to die for. And I loved that blueberry tray right there. You have everything you need to make a perfect Maine breakfast: blueberry pancake mix, blueberry syrup, and that sweet blue mixing bowl. I loved everything on this display. There is just something about that Maine cottage blue that I adore. And you will see all things blueberry here on this display. They have a nice selection of soaps and towels, all color coordinated and absolute eye candy. And this display is so beautiful. I would love this in my home. This beautiful cream color with the beadboard. Just beautiful. Now we're entering what is called the Stonewall Kitchen home store. And this is relatively new. And here you will find different items for your home. There's candles, and again with that cream and blue, all the elements of coastal Maine. The cabinetry, that table. And if anyone's looking for a gift for me, chinoiserie playing cards, yes please. And no trip to Maine would be complete without lots of food and drink. I wanted to highlight a couple of restaurants. One is Bandaloop, which is in Kennebunk, Maine. And this was a really fun restaurant with great food and cocktails. The menu was great. The style was kind of a boho look. And I particularly loved this cocktail called the Blueberry Aviation. And I will include a link to this restaurant in the description box, and I highly recommend it. And right in Wells, Maine is Congdon's Donuts. Congdon's is a staple. It has been there forever, certainly for my lifetime. And get up early because they sell fast. They are the best sugar raised donuts you will ever have. And if you want something a little heartier than a donut for breakfast, I cannot recommend Brewed Awakenings enough. Also in Wells, Maine, this is just a sweet little cafe. You can dine in or take out. I love the little color scheme. They had fantastic iced chai, and they have scones and breakfast sandwiches, bagels, and just the cutest little atmosphere right there on Route 1 in Wells. And I'm not sure you can call it a New England beach vacation if you don't have ice cream. And I'm going to recommend the Scoop Deck in Wells, Maine. This place is absolutely adorable with its little pink accents, and it has an endless list of flavors of hard ice cream to choose from. There's also really fun little signs all over, and it's just a sweet little place to go for your ice cream. Hey everyone, I just wanted to go through some of the items that I picked up on our recent travels in Maine. I ended up getting everything at Stonewall Kitchens, which is the retail store in York that I featured. And I did enjoy all of the antique stores and thrift stores we went to, but I didn't end up purchasing anything because there was an issue with everything I loved. So in the charity thrift store, I really loved that table, which I think you saw in the footage, and I couldn't find a price on it. And when I inquired about it, they said that it was not for sale. So that was the first strike. And then I also loved a set, what I thought was a set of 4 of Pimpernel placemats, and they were beautiful floral print on them with a gorgeous sage green outline, but I could only find 3. And when I asked the woman who was working at the shop to see if there was a 4th one, she couldn't find one. So I ended up leaving those because I really wanted a set of 4, not 3. And then, so that was strike 2. And then my 3rd strike was my own fault. And there was an oil painting there that I really loved and left there. It was $65, which I thought was a fair price. And it was absolutely beautiful. And for whatever reason, I just didn't take it home with me. So that was strike 3 at the charity restore, or excuse me, the charity thrift store. And then at the restore, which was incredible, I didn't take any footage there, but there was a Habitat for Humanity restore, and it was strictly furniture. And they had some gorgeous, they had a mirror that I loved, and they had a set of outdoor sofas that I loved. But I had our small car, and there was just no room. So I didn't end up getting anything at the antique stores or the thrift stores, but I certainly enjoyed looking. But what I did end up getting was a few things at Stonewall Kitchens. Most of them are consumable. And so let me just show you what I picked up. I'll start with some of the food items. And this is just a few. I did get more, but believe it or not, they're mostly gone. I got 2 jams. I got a peach amaretto, which I've already opened and dug into. I don't think it's any secret. I love amaretto. I love almond. And this is delicious on crackers or toast. And I'm envisioning this in thumbprint cookies. I think it would be delicious. So this is, if you have occasion to pick up the peach amaretto jam from Stonewall Kitchen, I encourage you to do so. They do carry these in a lot of grocery stores. They're fairly mainstream. I just don't know if they would have this particular one. And then I also picked up this seedless blackberry jam. we had an occasion to sample this. They have samples at the store, and this I loved because it's seedless. And my son loves blackberry jam, and so I got this with him in mind. But it is so, so good. Just the right amount of tart and with no seeds. So that was a good find. I also got some salad dressings and crackers, all of which are gone. So that is what I have left. Also at the restaurants, now I'm noticing, and particularly when we were in Maine, I noticed the restaurants have put pitchers of ice water on the table, and I love this shape. And I picked this up because I think this would be perfect for my kitchen table when we have dinner. I only have a Brita water pitcher, and I do have a couple of thrifted pitchers, but they're really heavy and just kind of cumbersome. So this is a smaller, it's fashioned to look like a milk bottle, and it has a rubber lid so you can keep the bugs or whatever out of it. And I intend to keep a pitcher of ice water on the table for dinner from now on. So that I picked up. And as far as the prices, I'll have to put them I'll have to link them because they don't have prices on them. They were on the signs in the store. So I will link these items in the description box, so you'll be able to see how much they are. And my favorite item that I purchased, which incorporates all of those elements I talked to you about Maine and coastal Maine style. This has the blue colors and they're hydrangeas, so that's a nice natural element. And I picked up this tea towel. I knew it had to come home with me. It just spoke to me. It is so beautiful, and I think it's perfect to put on my stove for a little pop of color in my otherwise pretty neutral kitchen. And I think this will be great, a great reminder of our trip to Maine and all of those beautiful blues and coastal elements, coastal Maine, New England elements that I love. And if anybody has any advice for how to prevent my husband or son from wiping barbecue hands or dirty hands on these, I would welcome that, because decorative tea towels I love, but I just don't know why my husband and son in particular feel the need to wipe dirty hands on them. So if you have any advice for that, please let me know in the notes. Otherwise, this is going to hang for today on my stove, and hopefully it will stay there nice and clean for the rest of the summer. So those were my purchases in Maine, and I really encourage you to get your credit card out and go shopping. There are antique stores, thrift stores, and gorgeous retail shops all along Route 1, along the coast of Maine. We did a little scratch of the surface in our short time there. And now our Relatively Refines segment. Today's refind comes from viewer Deborah. Deborah lives in England, and she found this amazing teapot from a charity shop and paid £2 for that. In US dollars, that is just a little bit over $2.50. It's amazing. The subject line of Deborah's email said, "Teapot envy?" Yes, Deborah, we all have teapot envy. This was a fantastic find. If you are interested in submitting a thrifted treasure to have us feature in our Relatively Refines segment, go ahead and send a photo and description of your treasure to the email on the screen, and we may feature it in an upcoming video. Thanks so much for watching.